Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Dare You podcast. This podcast, it's all about you and helping you reach the big goals that you have for your life. And what next steps do you want to take to get there? And I'm your host, Darrin Johnson. Welcome to episode 221. I have been waiting for this episode for a while. Now, if you are a first-time listener, I can't imagine a better one than this. You came in at the perfect time. You're going to get caught up real quick. I promise you're in the right spot. And if you've been listening for a while, welcome back. Forever going to make sure you are subscribing and following the show. I don't want you to miss an episode. Every Tuesday, a brand new episode drops, each one designed to help you live a better life. And episode 221, I think it's going to deliver. I'll let you be the judge. But let's get into this because we're going to talk about something that is impacting your life and your family and your friends and your kids and your grandkids. And we're going to talk about it. It is AI. AI, it is moving so fast that you can feel it, can't you? And here's the truth. It is going to change your work. It already has, and your life, and it is much more than just productivity. This is cultural. You know, some of the youngest users aren't using AI like a search engine. They're using it like a therapist. One nationally representative study found about 1 in 8 adolescents and young adults have used AI chatbots for mental health advice. Think of that. And other surveys suggest that it's even higher. A third of Gen Z say they've confided in AI chatbots over humans. Not a day goes by, everyone, when I'm not in a conversation with a team member or someone who works for me and I hear the words, "I asked chat." I mean, they are treating it like a confidant, like a mentor, like a friend. So here's the question. If you start outsourcing your thinking and your feelings and your decisions, does it make you more human or does it make you less? And the question is whether it changes you for the better. And this episode, to be clear, this is not an AI tutorial. Don't panic. But it is a challenge because AI can help you move faster and do more, for sure. But speed and productivity, they are not the goals that you need to focus on. Purpose is. And let me name the real villain in this story. It's not AI. It is drift. Because here's the reality. If you do not design your life, the algorithm will. And I'm going to show you 3 shifts that I'm watching in real time. And I want to give you one framework, one proven framework that you can use to protect what matters most. I call it guard the gains. I'm going to keep this really simple. I'm going to tell you what's changing. I'm going to tell you what to do about it. And then I'm going to challenge you to actually use it. All right, let's get into this. Shift number 1 that I'm seeing. The speed limit, it is gone, and leaders are building like never before. Let me make this practical. This show gets compared a lot to the Mel Robbins podcast, and I take that as the ultimate compliment. Now, you probably have seen it on Instagram where Mel Robbins, she gives shout-outs to her team, and it's a wonderful team from all accounts. I've never met them. Producers, audio, video, social, content. Now, I have no doubt that Mel Robbins will be on the I Dare You podcast soon, and I'll have a chance to meet her team the day that I am on the Mel Robbins podcast. Nothing's scheduled yet, but believe me, it's coming. Now, I will tell you that people assume that I also have a team like that behind this podcast. I don't. Everything you actually experience from me is built by me, inviting guests, preparation, recording, editing, writing, email, social. I mean, the list goes on. I'm just touching the surface. Did you know that 4 years ago when I started the podcast, a single episode would take me about 10 to 12 hours? When would I do it? Well, often weekends and early mornings, late nights, during weekdays. You know what I'm talking about. You all have passion projects and things you're doing on the side. You know what it takes. Well, today, AI is my team. AI is. And that makes the I Dare You podcast possible. And what used to be 10 to 12 hours for a single episode is now cutting it down to about 4 hours. And here's what AI helps me do fast. Clean up audio and remove the junk edits. Turn the episode into show notes and takeaways. Drafting titles and description and promotional content, email and social. In other words, AI handles the grunt work so I can focus more on the message and the guests. Now, I want to connect this to the bigger point. When AI gives you 6 hours back, what are you going to do with that time? Because the win is not just more output. The win is not more work. The win is using reclaimed time to build a better life. More presence, more health, more faith, more relationships. Whatever's important to you. Here's the point, and I need you to hear this. AI is not just making people faster, it's making ordinary people feel behind. Every top performer I'm around right now is building internal tools. Not eventually, not once someone gives them permission, not when IT gets to it. No, they're doing it now because they can. People who actually do the work are finally downloading those ideas they've carried in their head for years. I mean, the scorecards, the coaching plans, recruiting workflows, meeting prep, follow-up emails, training outlines, customer research you've always wanted to do, performance reviews, content drafts. And get this, the wild part, what used to take a quarter, 3 or 4 months, now takes a day or less time. What used to take a week can take minutes, sometimes seconds. Now, here's your wake-up call. If you're not using AI yet to build, you're still operating with fictional speed limits. That's just the reality of where we are right now. So I'm going to give you a quick dare right out of the gate. This week, pick one repetitive task that you touch every single week and build your first AI shortcut. Maybe it's a prompt that turns your messy notes into a clean recap, or it's a prompt that helps you create a coaching plan for a sales rep or an employee, or maybe it's a prompt that gives you 5 questions to ask before a hard conversation. I was just talking to a friend of mine who is using AI to design her vacation. She is going to be renting an RV. She lives in California and taking the family this summer all around the West. Now, I have to ask you, where would you go if you were going on a 4-week trip in an RV out west? She put that in her prompt, and within seconds, she had an unbelievable itinerary planned that involved Yellowstone and Jackson and South Dakota, and it goes on. But it is all dialed in. So the point is, this one small build this week, this will teach you more than 10 videos about AI. Just start doing it. And once you build that one thing, your brain, I promise you, will start to see 10 more things that are right in front of you. So now I know what you're thinking. Okay, Darrin, but where do I even start? Let me make this painfully practical, especially if you are doing it all. You're a leader, you are building a business, you're also a busy parent. I just want you to build a habit. And here's how. Pick one AI assistant, and might I suggest ChatGPT or Claude, and use it like a thought partner. Then pick one tool that saves you time. Now, if you create content, go to Canva. If you're in meetings all day, try Otter. If you record audio or video, try Descript. Now, I personally love Notion. Notion is fantastic for writing and calendaring and tools, and that's one of my favorites. Now, if you want the list, I'll drop these tools in the episode bio as well. Use it on one real task and turn one messy thing into a clean first draft, and then guard the time you get back, because the goal is not more hustle. It's a better life. Okay, quick reset. If you're tracking with me so far, you're not crazy, you're paying attention. Now, some of you are nodding because you've felt the speed up that you're feeling in your life, and some of you are also anxious, aren't you? Because you know in your core what this means. In fact, it just happened. On March 31st, Oracle just laid off 30,000 employees via a 6 a.m. email. No warning, no heads up. Now, Oracle is not the only company making this shift, not because sales are down or profits are down. No, it's the opposite. Sales are great. Profits are fine. It's because they are investing in the future, and the future is AI. So it's clear the advantage in work, it is shifting toward people who can become force multipliers and fast, which means getting up to speed on AI. Now, here's a training gap that should really make you angry. Nearly 3/4 of knowledge workers now use AI at work. 3/4. Yet 60% say they've received no formal training. Now, here's the reality. You won't lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to the person who knows how to use AI. Now, listen to what I'm about to say. This is not a someday thing. This is a this quarter type of thing. It's happening right now. All right, here's shift number 2. Hiring is changing because capacity is changing. We used to assume output meant more people. AI just broke that entire equation. Another way of saying the people who know how to use these tools will do more and they'll do them faster. And the bar for quote unquote average performance, it is going up. Now, here is your move. You need to become a force multiplier. Become that person who knows how to work with AI, not because it's trendy, but because it is the new baseline. All right, now stay with me. The next part is where this gets personal, and it's shift number 3. The bottlenecks, they're getting demolished. Think of that work that you do that used to take weeks. It now takes hours. Now that can feel scary, but here's the opportunity. AI can replace the grunt work so you can double down on what only you can do. Thinking of the work that I do in my professional setting, I do a lot of creation of scripts for videos and audios, complex agendas for multi-day meetings. I mean, it's like a huge Lego set. It takes hours and days and weeks to create. And there's a lot of grunt work to it, a lot of details. Well, now with AI, that process, it has gone from weeks down to days, which allows me and allows you to do the things that you are great at: creativity, judgment, courage, connection, leadership, empathy with your team. And that, everyone, brings us to the real question of this podcast. And I want you to actually answer this, not in your head, not later. Here we go. When AI gives you time back, and it is, and it will, what are you going to do with it? Because reclaimed time doesn't automatically become a better life. Have you noticed? I had a moment recently that it honestly bothered me, still does. I almost traded a family commitment that I had. I mean, it was a memory-making, once-in-a-season type of opportunity with family. I almost traded it for a business opportunity that I wanted to pursue. And I could tell I was negotiating in my own head. This is special, Darrin. You cannot miss it. What if you say no? And for a moment, I almost moved the family commitment. And I don't say that proudly. I say it because it exposed something in me. It forced a question that I want you to sit with today for you. Whatever you value most, are you now more of it? And if AI makes you more efficient, are you becoming more present? If it makes you faster, are you becoming more faithful? If it gives you leverage, are you becoming more loving, more healthy, more grounded? Stanford Business School has a famous question. What matters most to you and why? And AI, it puts gasoline on that question. Because if you can get more done in less time, you have to decide what those gains are for. And I'll just tell you where I'm anchored. I'm trying to be more anchored. I'm a Christian, and I do not want my faith to be just a label. I want it to be my life, not theoretical, not performative. I want it to be real in a way that I live every day. You shouldn't have to ask me if I'm a Christian. I would hope that you could just tell by the way I live my life. That's what I want to do in relationships and how I spend my attention. And I have to ask myself, is AI helping me become more of that person or just a more efficient worker? Because if we're honest, a lot of us have a two-belief system happening right now, running at the same time. We have a work view that says produce, perform, achieve, climb, never stop. And we also have a life view that says be present, love well, stay healthy, serve, be faithful, be the best spouse you can be, the best parent you can be. And AI has a way of forcing those two things to either align or to violently collide. Now, here's the inversion to think about. And before you hand your brain over to the machine, before it becomes your therapist, your mentor, your operating system for life, let me give you one simple guardrail. Never use AI to outsource your integrity. Don't let it put words in your mouth that you wouldn't say face to face. Here's a story. A couple of years ago, I was learning how to use AI. And I was crafting an email to send to a guest who was coming on the show, and I wanted to make a great impression. So, of course, I trusted AI to write it. Big mistake. Huge mistake. What I wrote sounded nothing like me. I mean, not even close. And I cut and pasted the email and sent it to the guest, and I was so embarrassed because when I read it later, if I were the guest, I would wonder if I'd been drinking when I'd sent the email. I mean, it was that bad. So if you're writing, for sure, use it to catch mistakes, to be an editor for you, give suggestions, but not to write it. If you're creating a script, use it to improve, but not to do the work. And do not use it as a substitute for the real conversations you know you need to have. Now, everyone, I love hard work. I know you do too. But you can run your life at redline the entire day, full speed, full output, always on, and you can still empty parts of your humanity. AI makes it easier than ever to stay on because there's always more that you can produce at the click of a button with just one prompt. But here's a reality. You can win at work and you can lose big at life. And that's not an AI problem, to be clear. That is not an AI issue. That is an issue with us, with you, and with me. And then you add in Parkinson's law on top of it, which means work expands to fill the time available. Oh my gosh. In the AI era, that creates the ultimate temptation and the ultimate trap. When you free up time, and if you don't decide ahead of time where that time goes, the work will expand and consume the gain silently, effortlessly. And I want you to name something that will help a lot of you. Some problems that we have, they are not solved. They're not. They can't be solved, but they are managed. For example, gravity. Gravity. You don't wake up and defeat gravity, do you? You design your life around it. The fact that work expands, I think that's a gravity problem. So the answer isn't more willpower. The answer is a better design, setting boundaries and defaults, and a calendar that tells the truth every time. So here's the question that we all need to answer. What are we doing with the time AI is now giving us? Because you're going to choose one of two lives with AI. One path is a lot more output. The other path is more meaning. I think we should choose more meaning. And you will make that choice this week. This is going to be all up to you, by default or by design. Is it going to be more work, or is it going to be more time with family, more health and fitness, more faith? Now, again, there's no judgment. If your goal is more output, God love you. AI, it is your superpower. But many of us say that our top values are family, faith, health, friendship, service. And yet, we can now do in 90 minutes what used to take weeks and still tell ourselves we don't have time for what matters most. So let me give you something you can use. Simple, practical, and you can start today. If you only do one thing from this entire episode, do this. Don't use AI to cram more into your life. Use AI to protect what matters most. I call it guard the gains, because reclaimed time, it's only a gift. It's only a blessing if you guard it and you spend it on purpose. And here's a picture that might help. Reclaimed time. It's like getting cash back. If you don't earmark it, it just disappears. It gets spent on little stuff. Can't remember where the cash goes. Guard the gains is you earmarking the time before it vanishes. So here is step one in the guard the gains process. Define your non-negotiables. What are the roles and relationships that you refuse to outsource? Think of it this way. No one else can be a parent to your kids. No one else can be a spouse to your spouse. No one else can be the kind of leader that you want to be, the kind of leader who leaves a legacy and makes a difference. AI can do unbelievable things, a shocking number of things for you, but it cannot do those things as you. So define those non-negotiables, write them down. Here's step number 2, spotlight your reclaimed time and then assign it. Don't let extra margin disappear into more meetings and more emails or more noise or more distractions. Identify where AI is giving you time back. For me, it is 6 hours every week that I normally would put into the podcast. What's your number for some of those projects that now are changing right in front of you? And then decide in advance where that time is going for you. And if you're not sure where it should go, don't overthink it. I want you to jump in and just prototype this thing. I want you to run a 7-day experiment. You're going to treat it like a test drive for the life that you say that you want. Family, health, prayer, community, service, kind of that deep work that just fills the soul. The next 7 days is when you can prototype that reclaimed time and assign it to the areas that matter most to you. All right, step 3, calendar it like it matters. This all comes back to the calendar, doesn't it? Because if it's not scheduled, it's not real. What gets scheduled gets done. want you to put those blocks on your actual calendar: sleep, workout, prayer, family time, service, and protect them like key meetings. They are sacred because they are. And let's go further. Here's an optional weekly check to keep you honest. One question every week. Did AI help me become more of what I say I value? Did AI help me become more of what I say I value? And here's one more tool that sounds simple, but it's powerful. The next 7 days, pay attention to what gives you energy and what drains it. I mean, just notice it. Just write it down. What do you love on the left-hand side of the paper? On the right-hand side, what do you loathe? And the obvious question is, where can AI help remove and start doing some of the loathe list for you so you can focus more on the things that you love that give you real joy and purpose? Because AI, it can give you time back, but only you can tell the truth about what actually makes you come alive. Right now, I'm going to give you something that you can start using today. I want you to open your Notes app, or you can just screenshot this or write it down, but don't just nod along unless you're driving. I really want you to dive in and do this. Here's the prompt I want you to put into AI. Here goes. And I will put this in the bio, by the way. Quote, AI is giving me time back. My top values are, list your values. My non-negotiables are, list those. Help me plan the next 7 days so the extra time goes to those things first. Give me specific calendar blocks, 3 guardrails to protect them, and 1 question to review at the end of the week. Unquote. There's your prompt. Now, listen, most people, they do not have a time problem. They have a default problem, an autopilot problem where they just drift. Because if you do not decide where this reclaimed time goes, your life will decide for you. And your life will spend it on email, scrolling, social media, meetings, and everybody else's priorities. You know what they have planned for your life? Not very much. A meaningful life isn't something that you find. It is something that you build on purpose, and you build it with what you do next. Okay, everybody, here we go. Here's my I Dare You challenge for you this week. I want you to create one simple AI shortcut for something that you do every week, one repeatable use of AI that saves you time. And I mean simple, basic, like you brain dump 3 messy bullet points and AI turns it into a clean client email. Or you paste your meeting notes and AI turns it into action items and a follow-up. You paste a voice note or paragraph and AI turns it into 3 social captions in your voice. Here's a fun one. You type, help me say this clearly and kindly, and AI helps you prep for a hard conversation. That's the first part of your I Dare You challenge, creating this one simple AI shortcut. Here's the second one. Guard the gain. Take at least 1 hour that you just bought back and put it on your calendar for a non-negotiable. That's whatever that is for you. Faith, family, health, wellness, a real conversation, strategic work. AI can give you time, but only you can give it purpose. That's what Guard the Gains looks like in real life, your life. And one more thing, before you move on with your day, do me a favor. Text yourself 3 words. Guard the gains. That could be your affirmation statement for the next few weeks, next few months. Guard the gains. Because if you don't decide where that reclaimed time goes, it's going to drift right back into the noise. Now, here's my ask. If this episode did connect with you, if you got value from it, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with at least one person who needs this message, a friend, a spouse, a teammate. Maybe it's another parent who's trying to build a life that actually feels like their life. Take that step. You could change a life in the process. Everyone, thanks for listening. Episode 222 is coming up next week. It's going to be another incredible episode. But before then, we have 7 days to put this episode into practice. Go find that reclaimed time and do what matters most. I'll see you next week on the I Dare You podcast. I'll meet you there.